with the presentation and everything. And so welcome everyone to today's webinar. In fact, this is the 13th webinar by Kaizen Academy. We've done many ones together before on different topics. We haven't done one of those for some good time, so we thought we'll come back, share further thoughts, and interact with you, and also share some good news and some new resources and some new offers. So thank you for being here, especially that we are on um, Saturday, which shows your commitment to learn something new, to develop yourself. And I know that your time is valuable, so we've designed this session to be practical, fast, and applicable. So we have 60 minutes together. I'll be teaching for about 40 of them, and I want to leave real time for live exercise, a competition, and yes, there are prizes and something I'll share with you exclusively at the end. So before we dive in, quick housekeeping. Please use the Teams chat to ask any question you would like to ask. I'll keep an eye on it, but I'll answer all the questions towards the end of the session. So ask your questions here, and before, yeah, and I'll pick them up at the end, and also let me know right now before we start in the chat where you are dialing from. So today I'm dialing from Melbourne, Australia. It's in fact Sunday today. USA, good. India, South Africa, Croatia, great. USA, Abu Dhabi, South Africa, France, India again, Lithuania, Kenya. This is Singapore, Saudi. Nice, nice. So from all around the world, which is great. And again, before I continue, this session or this webinar is being recorded, and I'll share with you the recording at the end of the session, and also the slides that we're going to walk through today. So to make sure that you will have a copy of these sent to your email if you haven't registered already, only if you haven't registered, please use this link that I'm sharing here in the chat to access, to make sure that I have your information to send you the webinar resources. Good. So here is what we are going to cover. I won't read through every item, but I want to flag a few things. So we have a live exercise later where you will be able to participate. So just be ready for that. And also we have a competition. I'll announce how to enter when we get there. And 3 people will win something worth staying for. And at the end, I have an exclusive offer that's only available for people who are live in this call. So let's start with the problem, the real problem. So let me tell you a story. So it's not a named company, but I've seen this in tens of organizations. A team spots a problem, they gather. Within 10 minutes, someone, usually the most senior person in the room, proposes a solution. The group aligns, the group approves, and then the solution gets implemented immediately, and 3 months later, the same problem is back. And when you're looking at this on the screen, that's actually what's happening. So there's a leak on the pipe. One person is holding the bucket to catch the water or oil, another is mopping the floor, and nobody is looking at the pipes, right? And that's what most improvement work looks like. Not because like the people are incompetent, but maybe they were never taught to ask the right questions first. So what is the actual problem? The problem not what went wrong, not what we should fix. The problem precisely, um, uh, and how um, do we know that's the real problem, and we're not fixing some symptoms of something deeper. That's uh, the key topic of today. So let me bring this. So um, there are three patterns that we see over and over again when we try to solve any problem. So the first one is jumping to solutions. Someone calls a meeting about a problem. Within 10 minutes, someone proposes a solution. No one has agreed on what the problem actually is, unfortunately. And this wastes more improvement effort than anything else I've seen. Okay? So we discuss a problem, but we don't really know what the problem is. Like we don't really agree what the problem is and what is this that we're trying to solve. And the second trap is fixing symptoms, right? So the team acts on the visible evidence, and then again the problem returns. They fix it again, and then we do it over and over again in a reactive way, and that feels unfortunately in many cases productive. Like we're doing something useful, we're fixing the symptoms, which relieves some of the pain, but at the end, you're not fixing the actual problem. And the third trap is the sneaky one. You'll fix the problem locally, and it just moves anywhere else in the system. So you fix it for yourself, but you make it harder for others. So if any of those sound familiar, you are in the right place. Uh, So the next now we are going to talk about, in just a few minutes, we are going to talk about what is called the A3 methodology or A3 thinking, right? And before we go there, I need to give you something foundational, and it is something that is usually overlooked, unfortunately, while we do problem solving. And the issue is contrary to like the general understanding, is not all the problems are of the same type. Different problems need different approaches. Not all the problems can be solved with, you know, uh, an A3. It's not all the same. So, or it is not the best tool. Like A3 is not the best tool for every situation. And if you apply the wrong approach to the wrong type of problem, we could get a result, but that's not the right, it's not the right solution in all the cases. And there are four types of problems that were highlighted by a book called The Four Types of Problems by Art Byrne, and in his book, The Four Types of Problems. So we'll walk through them very quickly. So the first one is troubleshooting. So we have something broke, machine down, defects, process failures, and your only goal is to get back to you were, where you were. So the speed really matters, right? And the trap is this: most teams treat every problem as troubleshooting. They jump to the fix, they move on, and wonder why the problem comes back. For example, you have a fire and you need to switch it off, right? You wouldn't go bring a team and then start discussing why the fire came, what is the best way to fix it. Look, you just, okay, the fire is here, let's go and fix it, right? You need a quick solution. You don't necessarily need to do like a full-blown analysis before you act. You need to act fast, right? Of course, you will think wisely. You will use the right, like you need to find the right type of distinguisher and so on and so forth. But you need to act fast. This is the critical point. And the second type is we have a gap uh, from standard. The process isn't broken, like there is no imminent risk, but it's not performing the way it is designed to be. And the effect rate, for example, is 4% when the target is 1%. This is not a troubleshooting problem. Uh, um, uh, you don't just need to have a quick fix. You need to understand why the problem and why the gap exists, and what is the right um, tool to use for root cause analysis. Find the cause and then fix it, right? And this is where A3 and the QC tools uh, shine. We will get there in a moment. Now we have type 3. Um, Type 3 is target condition. So the process is running well. You're hitting your standard, but the standard is no longer enough. For example, the competitors might have moved the bar. Customer expectation shifted. You need to redesign, not to fix. And this is the problem that sometimes it gets confused with type 2. And diagnosis method is completely different, but also A3 is of very good use in this situation. And then we have the type 4, which is open-ended, and you genuinely don't know what good looks like yet. You may not be able even to describe what the problem is, right? Or the describing of the problem itself is difficult, and the solution is not known, reason is not known, or the cause is not known, and this is what we can call innovative types of issues, or strategy, or new territory, and it requires hypothesis, experiments and iterations. And if you apply troubleshooting tools to a type 4 problem, you will get a very precise answer to the wrong question. So the key insight is this: most improvement teams are using one set of tools for all uh, 4 problem types, and then you wonder why the result don't stick, right? That's a simple yet a powerful thing to understand, which is simply not all problems are the same, and you need to think of what type of problem that I'm dealing with before you jump to the solution mode, or even the analysis mode. I can show you something that we have recently developed as part of our training programs, which allows you to see the again learn about the different types of problems, what is it, when we use it, and so on and so forth. But an interesting part is that it allows you also to find your type. So, for example, um, is there currently a specific or observable problem, right? And so this is something measurable that gone wrong. Okay, machine stopped, or a metric fell below a target, and so on and so forth. Yes, for example, you'll say here, yes, something has clearly gone wrong. For example, like we have a failure, or error, or a breakdown. And now, second step is to think about urgency. Is the customer or operation currently being impacted and needs immediate action? So you have two choices. No, I need to act immediately. Second is, um, Yes. Uh, I can investigate properly. Like I need to, uh, I have some time to investigate. So, um, um, so if I select, um, I need to act immediately, what would be the type of problem that I'm dealing with? I need to act immediately. Do you have time? No, I need to act immediately. What would be the type of problem? Is it one, two, three, or four? So type your answer here in the chat. Let me know what you think. Exactly, right? So it's troubleshooting, type one. So the situation calls a first responder approach. You need to contain the impact, protect the customer or operation, and then um, 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 investigate later on, right? So this is a very useful tool that our participants have access to. We'll show you some other tools as we go along through the presentation. Thank you Sundays, thank you um, Cindy, Ravindra, Steve, and all others for your answers. Good. So the A3 report or A3 methodology, and it's named after the paper size Toyota used, and that's not accidental. It was the biggest paper size that you could fax from one department to another, and it it needs like it is designed to fit the whole problem on one page, and it forces clarity. You cannot hide in this case behind the 40 slides presentation. So, um, and usually, like it's not in every case, but usually it has 6 sections. And here is the key thing. The sequence is the discipline. You cannot write a meaningful goal until you have defined the current condition. You cannot propose countermeasures until you've done the root cause analysis. The template helps you not to skip ahead. I've seen S3 thinking used in manufacturing plants, hospitals, accounting teams, logistics network, and the context could change. The design of the actual layout could change, but it is always the same. You need to have to walk through uh, the problem solving case in a scientific way, right? So you define the background, you define the current condition, you define the goal or target condition, you do the root cause analysis, you come up with recommendations, and then countermeasures, and then you have a plan, and then you need to follow up. And if you noticed, and if you're familiar with the concept PDCA, you would find it is very consistent with PDCA. So it is designed on top of the PDCA methodology, which is the plan, do, check, and act. So you plan you plan, you define the situation in a proper way before you even try anything else, right? And then you try or do, and then you check if your trial provides you with what you would wished for, and then you act, you standardize, or you iterate again until you find the right solution. Um, so we have here a simple case. So the scenario is we have a final assembly line defect rate of 4.8 against target of 100%. This has been running for 6 weeks. Customer complaints are up 22%, and it is impacting our delivery. And now here is what most teams do at this point. They immediately jump uh, um, um, and start brainstorming causes. They jump to solutions and they skip the first two boxes, which is what is the background, what is the target condition, right? And the background should include things related to, for example, why does this matter? And it matters to whom? And what is the business impact? Without fixing this problem, what will happen, right? And so on and so forth. And then we have the target condition. Like, what do we actually know right now? And not what we think, but what we actually um, find out using facts and data. Um, and so, for example, the percentage of the different types of defects and failures. And the rule is before a single solution is proposed, before you do the root cause analysis, everyone in the room must agree to the current condition. Like this is what we're trying to solve. And then we have the third step, which is the goal. And here it's not improving quality. It is reduce defect rate from 4.8 to below 1% by end of Q3. So a smart objective or a smart goal. So specific measurable time bound. If two people can read the goal and disagree on whether it has been achieved, it's not a goal, right? So we cannot say like customer satisfaction with the results. Like how can we measure this? You could have different perception unless we have another thing that, for example, quantifies that customer satisfaction. But for this specific problem, we're talking about defect rate, and we should have a KPI related to this defect rate. It should be we have a smart goal, which has something specific that is measurable and also it's time bound, right? And then we do the root cause analysis. And root cause analysis, this is where the 5 whys comes in. And I want to show you how it actually looks when done properly. Not just why did this happen repeated 5 times. So we focus on the biggest defect type, for example, the misaligned fasteners, right? 58% of all defects. And we ask why. Genuinely 5 times. Um, um, and let's read through these. So the first why, why do we have fasteners misaligned? And then we can see that jigs not reset between shifts. Is that sufficient? No, we need to understand further. Why? There's no standard procedure for shift change. Why don't we have that? Handover checklist removed in last process change. Why did we have to remove it? Was that removed? Why? Because no change control review was conducted. So we don't have, the system doesn't protect itself, right? And something, we'll come to this in a second, but something that is really important to recognize while we do the 5 why analysis is that you can debate that sometimes whether like is this sufficient or we should uh, um, dive deeper or dig deeper. One good red flag that would tell you that you need to dig deeper is that if you stop at something that you cannot control, or if you stop at the person, right? So because the people are busy or because people are trained, that's not um, uh, proper stopping point. But we'll come to this in a second. And then we have the countermeasures, not the solution, because countermeasures indicate that like this is the countermeasure for now. There could be other countermeasures later to enhance and improve further. Like this is not the end of the game, right? And also you need to have these countermeasures tested in order for them to be a real solution, right? And we have here, for example, three specific actions, and then finally the follow-up, right? So we need to also write down the like the follow-up. How do we make sure that we have this problem under control? And A3 eventually could look something like this, right? If you combine all the parts together. It doesn't need to look like nice and not messy. Like that's absolutely fine. If you have something like looks like this, or even more cluttered and scattered, you can do it using a piece of paper and a pencil. That's all fine. Like it doesn't need to look neat. We have our templates. We share them with you. But again, like it doesn't need to be very neat in order for it to be right. All right. The key thing here is that you need to find the uh, follow the methodology in a disciplined way. And here comes the next step in our discussion. So, um, which is the 7QC tools. And you've probably heard of most of these. And what I want to do is to give you the why for each one, like what is the use case for each, not just what it is or how to use it. But we have that check sheets. Check sheets is a data collection tool. So for example, where you are at the process and you are trying to count, or the people themselves need to count and in real time and group the for example the defects by type, and and in this case the check sheets could be really useful. And believe me or not, sometimes that they are in many cases they are more effective than waiting for ages to design a system that will automatically read the defects or the counts your production, um, um, and eventually like you're delaying the whole thing forever. You can work together, but check sheets are very like you can design a sheet in a day and then start using it next day. It could be a temporary use for a specific problem, so it's very effective. And second is histogram. And once you have data, you need to see its shape. Like, is process centered? Is it on target? Is there too much of spread? You cannot answer these questions from a list of numbers. And then we have the Pareto chart. So usually 80% of the problems come from 20% of the causes. The Pareto chart makes that visible. It tells you where to focus. Without it, teams spread effort across everything equally and makes progress on nothing. The fourth, and it's my favorite, you've already seen this in the A3 walkthrough. It maps the cause categories before you start asking why. It prevents you from fixating on the first cause you think of. Great. So we have three more. We have the scatter diagram. So when you think you've found the cause, the scatter diagram tests whether there is actually a relationship between data. That without it, you're making assumptions. And then we have the control chart. Could be, intimidating sometimes, but this is the most sophisticated and most misunderstood of all of the seven. It answers one question. is this variation significant or is it just the noise? Without control chart, teams react to natural process variation as if it is a problem, and this wastes enormous effort. And then finally, we have graphs. Um, um, Graphs are basic, yes, but don't underestimate them. Uh, um, they help you a lot in seeing the uh, the the different types of data in a more readable way, right? And now, because we mentioned to you in the our um, invitation to the webinar that we'll be sharing with you free access to a new toolkit app. So let me show you right now. So we will be having access to Kaizen Academy 7QC interactive uh, toolkit. We'll show you in a second. So you can build any of or use any of these 7 tools within the app. It will allow you to download the report that you've um, after using the app, after using one of the tools, and so on and so forth. But again, before I'll be emailing you this tool um, after our session as well. So what does it look like? So here you have um, the app. So you have here the 7 tools, and this is an introduction to them. There is also a downloadable Excel template that you can use, and then we have uh, a screen for every one of these 7 tools. For example, this is the histogram, and the histogram, as we just covered, it shows you the shape of your data, for example, right? So just to give you a sample of the exercise, you can, for example, like let's say like this, I'm increasing the data that I have, and you can see that it is shape is changing, right? Because of the further information that I'm putting on the um, here on the entry data. And then you can also set the lower specification limit, upper specification limit, and then it will give you statistical analysis. So what is the mean, what is standard deviation, what is the range, and also it will give you the process capability indices, so CP, CPK, and so on and so forth, and will show you also some key actions that you need to take, right? And then finally, you can download um, uh, either the image itself or a full report of the work that you've done here. So here is an example. So all of what you've done in this simple report, right? So that's the tool, and you can see, you can imagine that you have access to the like a different way of different tool, or displaying different tool, different ways of data entry. So this is the Pareto chart. Check sheets can generate one for you. And then you have the graphs. So you have the line graph, the bar graph, pie chart, um, and then you just can enter the information. It will draw the pie chart for you. And again, you can do, for example, the X bar and R chart, control charts, and then it will give you the analysis of the process stability with the rules and the calculations and whether it is in control or not. And again, you can download the whole report, right? And finally, we have the scatter diagram. If you wish to have access to this tool, make sure that you have um, um, registered to the webinar. If you haven't, like, just if you didn't register to this webinar and you just joined it directly, you can register your information here to make sure that I have your contact information to be able to send you the recording, the slides, the tools, and also our special offers, right? And again, this is one of our tools that we have developed to make sure that the use of these tools, very useful tools, accessible to anyone, right? So we have another one for value stream mapping. We have another one for design of experiments. So, and we are also have many others coming. And all of these tools are accessible to our participants in our training program, and they will have access to it. Uh, will have a lifetime access to these tools. So let's move on. Get back to our presentation. You just quickly check the time. So good, we still have time. So now we need to do a very quick exercise, um, and I need to go through it together with you. So we have here a problem statement that please read it on the screen. So customer orders being delivered 3 days late. With the highest frequency of delays in dispatch. So the dispatch is our first why. So um, so uh, let's say why do we have the first one would say why orders are sitting in the dispatch. Okay, sorry. This is the first statement that we have, which is orders are sitting in the dispatch queue longer than expected, right? Um, After asking the first why. So I'll ask you to uh, um, tell me in the chat what should the next why look like. So orders are sitting in the dispatch queue longer than expected. Why do we have orders sitting in the dispatch queue longer than expected? Okay, no information about them being here. Okay, I'll pick this one. Thank you, Sanja. Okay, just a second. Okay, good, 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 good. Okay, I'll pick the first one. So no information about them being here. So let's ask ourselves, why no information about them being here? Why no information about them being here? Hmm. We need to find something related to no information about them being here. Are these really causes or reasons for why there is no information about them. Communication gap. Okay, good. That's one that could be, you know, relevant. Why do we have a communication gap? Okay. Okay, I'll take this because why? Because we have no system. Okay, I'll just want to point out when we think of the code or of the whys, don't think of, you know, the solution, but rather about the causes. And then once you find the root cause, then you start thinking of the solution, right? So no system. So why do we have no system? And to be fair, that could be a very good stopping point because now we are talking about systems that can be fixed or implementation. Okay, we have management failure. Management failure is not a system, is not a process, but could be right. But yeah, good. So a very good indicator where we should stop or not stop. So, for example, if the cause, a good stopping point could be the cause is something that the team can act on directly. So, if there is a missing system, if there is a process gap, a decision that was never made, and fixing it would prevent the problem from reoccurring, not just one instance of it. A bad stopping point could be the answer blames the person or point of at something that outside of the team control. For example, it is the problem is the customer, or it is the vendor, or is it it's a bad luck, or simply restates the symptoms in different words. And we have seen some of these in the chat. So none of which gives you anywhere to act, right? So, and again, I just want to point out that it's not necessarily 5 whys per se. Could be 10, could be 3. So unless you understand the the cause behind the issue, and that it's a systematic thing or it's a process thing, then you are in the right direction, right? So in the beginning, we were talking about orders delayed. Now we're talking about systems that would need to be put in place. And there could be some branching also happening as you do the 5 why. Good. Now, thank you all for your participation in this. I appreciate the contribution of each one of you. So one more thing that I would ask you of is that we are now having a the competition time, and we will have 3 winners. So in order for you to join this competition and win 30 days access to the data-driven problem-solving course, um, which has explains to you in details each one of these 7 tools and how to use the different tools to understand them, analyze them, and also it walks you through the A3 methodology and explains every one of these tools in details. So this is you will have access to that course for 30 days. That course value is $250. and we will have a live um, um, quick competition to go through these this competition. Try to join very quickly because we have a limited number of places. So we're starting right away. Make sure you answer right and you answer quickly. Which phase in PDCA focuses on trying a solution? Yes, do is the right answer. Next one. What is another name for a cause and effect diagram? Oh, very good. Most of you got it right. According to 32. What is the percentage? Nice. Which tool is best for monitoring process stability over time? Is it histogram, control chart, Pareto chart, check sheets? Good. Control chart is the right answer. Who pioneered the 7QC tools, the basic quality tools? Was it Edward Deming? Was it Ishikawa? Was it Taylor? Was it Ford? The right answer is Ishikawa, the same person who developed um, the fishbone diagram. Right. Question number 7. What is the first step in the A3 thinking process? Is it follow-up, countermeasures, background, or analysis? Oh, I missed that one. Yes, background is the right answer. Last question. What does BDCA stand for? Yes, plan, do, check, and act. Awesome. So most of you got the answers uh, right. So agent X9 is the winner. And then we have um, Jana Kiraman, and then we have Charlie. The three of you, please leave your real names here in the chat just to so that I'll be able to identify you and send you your emails with the access uh, to the course. So you can email it to me or you leave it here in the chat if you wish. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Congratulations, the three of you. So finally, we will share with you here some special offer, and that's for everyone who is participating. It is for everyone who is participating with us today only. And uh, we have seen that people who are interested in developing their skills and advancing their career in continuous improvement, um, um, they they always have one of three challenges: the knowledge and skills gap, or practical implementation gap, or certification. And we've designed this training program, the Lean Practitioner Certification Program, to solve all of these three challenges. Um, so in this program, um, um, we have 4 courses, um, and then three of them are mandatory. One of them is optional. So we cover the value stream mapping, we cover the Lean and TPS fundamentals, also we cover data-driven problem solving. And then after you pass the 3 courses, you get a certificate for each of the courses, and then you will have access to coaching opportunity, one-to-one coaching on a project of your choice. And then we will, once you finish this milestone, you will have access to the final exam. Once you pass the final exam, you will be certified by Kaizen Academy Australia as Lean Practitioner. And normally the price for this program is $995. And but for today's session participants, we are offering it at a totally different price. And this offer is that we are providing this opportunity for all the participants today for 48 hours and only for 10 of the participants. So if you would like to make use of this opportunity and learn more about this program, either scan this QR code or use the link here in the chat. Um, a link here in the chat, and then you can get access to the training. So let me show you how it actually looks. So you will have this also link sent out to you. Um, um, and then you can just enroll directly by clicking here, and you can also learn more about the program, what it includes, and what our students said about it. And you can use that link to directly access the course and to enroll directly, right? Um, so as you could see, we have like payment plans, and we also have um, um, one-time one-time payment. Both of them will give you unlimited access, lifetime access to all of the course content, and also our toolkits, and also that we've shown you a sample of them today. And then also it will provide you with any future updates to the program. So let's take some questions from you. Yeah, the certificate name is Certified Lean Practitioner. Certified Lean Practitioner. Good. I'm sorry for those who couldn't join using the QR code. Um, Sorry, really sorry about this. We'll try to avoid that in the future, allow um, more options for you to join. But good luck next time. So here are some questions. So if you have a question, just share it with me. Yeah. So here, yes, you will have access to the 7QC tools. After this webinar, I email it with you. Again, if you didn't share if you didn't register for this webinar, make sure that you register so that I can have your contact information, send it away. I'll send you the recording. I'll send you the slides within 24 hours. Right? But again, as I mentioned, this is one of the tools that are available for our students. So if you enroll in our certification program, you will have access to 3 or 4 more tools about value stream mapping and others, and also the design of experiments. Um, uh, yes, another question came about the timeline of completion of the whole program. That's a very good question. So usually our participants will finish the whole thing within 6 to 9 months. But nevertheless, the program is self-paced, so you can finish at your own time. So the training material will be made available for you to study at your own pace. But usually, if you dedicate 2 hours per week, for example, you will be able to finish the whole thing within 3 to 6 months, not including the project. So again, it could take anything between 6 to 9 months. This is usually the timeline, but we will allow you to extend that if you wish, to take more of time. Once you register, you will have unlimited access to the program with lifetime access. And whenever we release any content, we release any new tools, you will have access to them as part of the package. Yes, you will work on your own pace except for the project. So you will have one-to-one project guidance. So you will select a problem of your choice, and we'll work on it together with me one-to-one to make this project working and happening. I'll guide you through the A3 methodology. I'll provide you with feedback until you are satisfied with the project outcome, and that's part of the package. So the cost of the whole program is $995, but for today's participant is only $495. That's 50% off. And it's only available for the first 10 participants or the for 48 hours, whichever goes faster. Jasbir, did you have a question to ask? You can ask it in the chat. Jasbir, I'm really enjoying this time. So if you need any further question, let me know. I can spend 2 or 3 more minutes with you to answer any questions you might have. Thank you all for joining me today, and looking forward to seeing you in future training programs or webinars, and to learn something new together. Thank you so much. I'll be sending you the recording, I'll sending you the access to the 7QC tools and the webinar resources as well after this is finished. Thank you.